that's almost unimaginable to me. And it's a great day. And today is one of the best days I had in my life. And I'm glad today you are coming. And also I'd like to thank Dave and Dina for initiating this birthday party. And Dave has spent a lot of time working on the PowerPoint presentation so everybody can see to review a little bit what we have. Okay. Then I would just say, if you were to, especially to the youngsters, to the children, okay, looks like this is our big family. I'm now the oldest in our family, 80. You're young, you're the second generation, third generation, and hopefully I can see the fourth generation around.
We are first, and then second, third.
Yeah. Now we are waiting for fourth, or maybe fifth.
Who is the oldest one? Josiah. And then
Okay.
Moving on.
So I want to say you was special to the youngsters, okay, to the third generation. When I was your age, I'm also working hard as like you, and I struggle to be the best. So I'd like to say something. I say to me, in fact, right now you are pretty successful. You go to the best college, best high school, and now pretty soon you are going to be in society as a productive person in the society. And I just like to emphasize, you should become a good citizen first. You need to be a good citizen, and hopefully everybody in the moment will appreciate. You believe that God is eternal life, and that is like eternal life, and to be happy and to be successful. But you know this. A lot of people like to strive for success, working hard day and night, and to become what? To become governor, to become a senator, to become even president of a country. That's very good, great achievement. But you know what happened to a lot of achievement, a lot of those achievements? Illinois, Illinois State has 3 governors up to now. They are in jail. They are in jail. No more glory anymore. They're in jail. The 3 presidents of the Korea, South Korea, 3. The president of a country called South Korea. Such a glorious, such a fantastic achievement. They end up in jail, serving in jail. Okay. So don't be too greedy and don't do something in violation of law. Otherwise, all your success will be wiped out. You will be regret for the rest of your life. So don't try to do something which you know is against the law. Try to be honest, try to be a good citizen. Important. Okay, so this is very important. Otherwise, you may get a position this high. You got millionaire, but you end up in jail. Okay. And so you should be doing this is very important. Important principle you have to adhere to. So do something in life, not to taking too much advantage of taking other people, violating of the law. Okay. So this is important. The other important thing I learned from myself is when you do something, major decision, writing something, you should have reflection on it. Don't write, send out right away. You reflect, sit on your head for a few days, 1 day, 2 days, before you make a final decision. Otherwise, you will regret. I regret a lot in my life. I sent out the letter too quickly, sending out some memo too quickly, making a decision too quickly, then regret whole life. So this is the lesson I learned. I'd like to pass on to you. When you make a major decision, do something, sit in your head for a few days, and reflect yourself. What will be potential consequences? To say, if you do something, what will be potential consequences? What will be other people's reaction? Don't just think about yourself. You think about what will other people react to you. If you were there, how would they feel? Sometimes I think about yourself. I think myself too. Think about myself. I think about what we do with other people too. About my head. So this is very important. Because if any mistake you may regret for your life, which may be affect your whole life. Maybe you make an enemy, one enemy, two enemies. That's all you need. So not try to make a lot of enemies. Try to be a friend for a lot of people. So this one, you are successful, you are smart, you're working hard, that's fine. But you need to be careful about what you do, about your character. A character counts. A character counts. Otherwise you will be in jail. You will be in some. No matter what money you have. You will not be any. That's my advice to you. The other advice I have for you is that you should value our relationship, our big family. This is a big family, and we hopefully get more people to come in the future. So I was quite happy that Josiah and Andrew went to Taiwan a few weeks ago. Went to Taiwan, and they get together with our relative. They had never seen. Get together with some of their cousins, their friends, and that's very nice. Because when you get more people to know more people, you do networking, you know. Your networking is very important. In this society, networking is the most important for success. You isolate yourself, you are limited. You need networking with other people. And you have relative is the best one for you people to get connected with our relative. Because big family, at least you know, they don't take advantage of you. So our big family, hopefully you value our friendship, family relationship. Don't be arrogant. To a person, I look down those people with arrogance. The more arrogant, the more I look down. To be arrogant is not good. People don't respect anybody who is arrogant. Okay, so don't try to be arrogant. Try to be humble. That's important. So our big family, you know, like they connected when you go out, when becoming a society, a productive society, you networking with your relative, friend in Taiwan or in other places. And that will be very valuable to you, your future. You learn from somebody, you make connection from somebody. That's wonderful. So that's my advice to just young people. You work hard, but you need to be careful of mistakes. When I reflected, when I saw this picture, about a picture taken maybe 10 years ago or 20 years ago, you know, so I wonder whether I look much older or not. In the picture, somebody say I look almost the same 20 years ago. 20 years ago. But compared with that picture,
You look the same.
You-
Like even Victor said you look the same. You look the same.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
look the
right.
same, yeah.
So and then people told me, oh, you look the same from 20 years ago. Yeah, look at, maybe it's true. I look at the mirror, to say, yeah, and look at the other one. I don't think that one looks much older than me. Not look younger than me. The picture was taken 10 years, 20 years ago. So that's very nice. So right now, I feel my life is very, I'm very happy, very grateful for what I have. I'm very content. I'm 100% content. Not even there's some minor thing I may not have in them. But otherwise, overall, I'm very content. I'm very happy. And I have my wife. She is helping me. And also, we get married about 20 some years ago. 25 years ago already.
Since 92.
So it's a good company, and we help each other. And maybe that's moving. I'm still doing okay now, not getting bad too much. Physically, in terms of health, I think today is the best health I have in the past many years. Today is the best one. I got up earlier today, around 8, 9 o'clock, and I walked 7 hours, almost non-stop, doing writing, my manuscript, doing writing, doing music, 7 hours, almost straight. I'm still good, I still feel very upbeat, you know, and energetic. I don't feel very tired, and I'm getting senile. I still feel pretty good. So I'm very grateful for what I have. Anything I got is a real blessing. So I pray I pray every day I pray. So I hope you also be kind of be content, be happy yourself, and hopefully everybody anybody who is Christian, believe in God, believe in eternal life. I do believe maybe you electrical engineer or a computer, you don't believe there's a God, there's a supernatural, there's a super beings. Actually, yeah, it is. By my experience, it is. We are not alone. A lot of things are wrong, we cannot see, but they are here. And their eternal life, for sure, absolutely sure, there's the eternal thing we don't see, absolutely sure. First-hand experience, you cannot explain anything by science. There's a spiritual, there's a soul, something you cannot explain by physics, by like Einstein law, the reservation of the mass. You cannot explain. There's something you cannot see, but it's there. It's there. There's a supernatural thing is there. You cannot see. So believe in that one. Actually, when I reflect on the thing, I say almost everything is a miracle in the world. Everything, you have those things. Everything is a miracle. The birth of a person is a miracle by itself. Because when people now talk about automation, people talk about automation like the car to make automate. Everything automate. You can do 100 years long now. You cannot compete. So it's still far away from what we get right now, automation. I tell you, before I think about this, when a person is born, when the fertilized egg is there, all you need is what? Nutrient. All you need nutrient. The egg is going to multiply like an astronomical rate, fantastic rate, astronomical nutrient, then become you, become me. Nobody help. They do by themselves from the womb, They do by themselves. All you need is what? The nutrient. So everything is automated. So we have automated the birth of the human being we are programmed to become a human being. We don't come here by chance. It's programmed, and it's 100% automation. All you need is nutrient. Everything is programmed in the DNA, they call it program. So this program is not by any human being. It's not by evolution. So-called evolution. It's by somebody super being. We call it God. So that's I kind of feel different than before. The perspective of human being is really something created. All you need is just that single cell, stem cell. We call stem cell. You don't heard about stem cell. A stem cell, only one single stem cell that grow myself. Make us. That's it. The stem cell is reproducible. That program, that's a very extremely complicated program embedded in this stem cell. That's how we make. How we become. All you need is only nutrient. Any good nutrient you grow. No nutrient, stop. So that's why I propose the aging theory. Why we age was nutrient. If we have nutrient, we can grow. Because we're losing nutrients over time. They're getting older, getting age. So in my study, post my retirement, I invented theory, breaking away from the conventional theory. For 100 years, everybody say about aging theory. There's 300-400 aging theory. I think most of them are not quite right. I think I'm proposing the right one. Aging theory. Like photo aging. People say, don't go to the sun. Right now, the US government tell you, dermatologists tell you, don't go to the sun. You should use sunscreen. That's really wrong, very wrong. So I'm writing articles saying you should don't use sunscreen occasionally, but otherwise you should go to the sun. And so I'm challenging the whole 100 years concept about photo aging, about aging. This is aging. Then something interesting I discovered a chemical that can replace all the antibiotics used in dermatology. all the chemical, all the you have chemical, topical chemical antibiotic use. I found one chemical that can replace it and is more effective and more less side effective. So that has been patented already. And I also this chemical not only kill all the microorganisms, fungus, bacteria, virus. It also stimulates tissue growth. Tissue can grow. So you don't have scar formation. And you can regenerate your hair, your nail, the hair, and the nail and gum, so on. Okay. So that is the so-called tissue regeneration.
I'm doctor that is our anti-fungal, doctor is anti-fungal product.
So that's the first of its kind. The people are talking using stem cell different approach. So I'm the first one to use a simple chemical to rejuvenate the stem cell, to grow hair, to grow gum, to grow tissue, to grow nail. So I think I make a very good contribution eventually. Maybe I cannot see, maybe I don't know how long I'm living, but I'm hoping maybe the way I am, maybe I can stay here for another 20, 30 years. Thank you. Okay, so I think so much. If I have something, I will talk to you another time. Otherwise, I enjoy the food. Okay, but some people are coming. Okay, some people are sharing, or some people are coming, and happy to talk to you anytime. Okay.
That was good.
So, would you like to say a prayer, or would you like me to say a prayer? You know I didn't think you knew very much about Taiwan, other than you just went there, so that was great. So, okay, do you know, where's Taiwan in this map? Can you see that? Upper left.
It's by Indiana.
So just some interesting facts. China and the United States are about the same size, and so we're 265 times the size of Taiwan. Taiwan has about 23.5 million people. The U.S. has 367 million, and China has 1.4 billion people. So you can see that Taiwan's a very small country. So you guys know like latitude and longitude? The North Pole is 90 degrees north, the equator is 0. Where do you, Taipei is 25 north. Where do you think Los Angeles and Chicago is? And what do you think is the U.S. city that is equivalent to where Taipei is on the latitude-wise?
And start with 1 minute, okay? I will show you where my parents and Agon's parents, okay?
I'll show you
We come from around here. And go past the Pacific Ocean, and it comes to
What city?
immigrant. Most of it is
So did you hear that? Like, our ancestors came from China. And I think, Dan, you said like in the 1800s, 1850 something,
Yeah.
our ancestors immigrated from China to Taiwan.
1900.
1900s, in the 1900s? Or?
1900, yeah.
Okay. Okay, so continuing on, I just let you know, the equivalent city in the United States is Key Largo, Florida, is the equivalent of where Taiwan is. Okay, and that means that's the furthest south Florida, so it's very hot there, right? I mean, you guys remember? I just remember it was hot and humid. So, you know, if you go visit there, it takes a while to get used to. All right, so there's Taiwan. And Illinois and Wisconsin are about the same size. And that's Illinois superimposed on top of Taiwan. It's four times larger than Illinois and Wisconsin are 4 times larger than Taiwan, the whole country. Okay? And you can see the population-wise, Wisconsin's at 6 million, Illinois is at 13 million, Taiwan, the whole country has 24 million, California has 37 million. So it's a very dense area where people have to live. You know, so it's a quarter of our size, and they have twice as more people as Illinois. Okay. So Taipei is where Agong grew up in, which is the capital of Taiwan up in north. And then you can just see the city of Taipei is about equivalent to the size of Chicago. And there's actually more in the suburbs. But based on size and space, it's twice as dense as the city of Chicago. Twice as many more people in Chicago, in Taipei than in Chicago. And then if you go to Taiwan, in Taipei, what do you see? It's Taipei 101. It's 101 because it's got 101 floors. Obviously, it just stands out. And it was at one time the largest. It was the largest, tallest building right after Sears Tower. Sears Tower was the tallest building, and then Taipei 101 went up, and it became the tallest building.
But not anymore.
And not anymore. So on the bottom, right now, you can see on the right, Chicago, this blue star. That's where the Sears Tower is. Taiwan, Taipei 101 is there, and now there's tall buildings in Shanghai, and the tallest is in Dubai. And it's much larger than anybody else's, but you can just see, it's pretty impressive. And Taiwan's a very earthquake-prone area too, so I'm like, I don't know if I want to live in that tall building like that. Okay, so. And if you go back to Taiwan now, and if you went to Taft, we always talk about the Taft night market, right? So on the left-hand side, you see this, everybody just goes out and eats. Almost every street, there's food vendors, stores on the first floor of all streets, and just people just go out at night, during the weekdays and just eat. Very cheap food, very good food, right? And then on the right side is the Chinese Memorial. That was the first president of Taiwan. And the Grand Hotel. These are the big sites that people go to visit.
Have you stayed at the Grand Hotel?
When I think of Taiwan, this is what I think of. I remember lots of taxis and lots of scooters. I don't know if that was the case there. So it's like you live in Chicago. You don't need a car. Only the rich people had cars, really. Everybody just took taxis everywhere, and everybody took scooters because it's so dense. It's almost like everybody has their own scooter. And so here's so look at that. This is
It's not there.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Those are all scooters. Okay, they're all coming. The video is a little scooter. They're just like there's just a wave of people all on scooters just coming off this one stop. Okay, they look like people, but they're all scooters.
That's crazy.
All right, so this is my grandparents, Agong and Ma. They started a leather business, a trading company, back in 1952. So it used to be before, everything it says now is like made in China, right? Every time you look at something, it's made in China. Before it was made in China, it used to be called made in Taiwan. Everything was like made in Taiwan when we were growing up, because that was the cheap market labor. And because of that, they did very well. They traveled. I remember my Agong and Ma came and visited us in Illinois, and they were like going to Egypt, or they were always trading. They bought products from China and Taiwan, and leather goods, or raw leather. They were like middlemen, distributors, and then they would go out to businesses all across the world and sell and be the traders. So in the lower left-hand corner, that's a man, a dog visiting us at our house.
Just turn them up.
Okay.
Just like your great-grandmother and great-grandfather.
My grandfather and great-mother. Okay, you know who we're talking about. And on the upper left is their house. I think, is that right there? Does that look like the back of your house?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you, in Taipei, I should say, let's see a good picture. Okay, if you look on the lower left-hand side, the first floor of every building is always like the storefront. And then the second, third, fourth floor is where people live. So, but it's very narrow, right? It's like a store would be like this, this size here, right? Would be a storefront, and then everybody would live upstairs. And so that's what I remember when I went back to Taiwan. I think actually the garage area was on the first floor, and then the business was actually we didn't have a storefront because they were a trading company. So they just had offices on the second floor, and then is that right? Then my Agong or great grandparents lived in the second floor, and my uncle and their family lived on the third floor. Okay, so this is in Taipei. It's a very dense area. People live up, right, narrow and. All right. So this is now a little bit. This is my dad and mom in their marriage, and so my dad and my mom met in college. My mom was the first to go to college in her family, and met my dad. They were both. My dad started out as an electrical engineer in college, so that's kind of funny because that's what I ended up starting as. Then he switched to pharmacy because he told me he was afraid of electricity. Okay. So then somebody told him go to pharmacy because there's a strong growth in the cosmetic business. So he decided to go into pharmacy. He met my mom. And then after they graduated, he had to serve 1 or 2 years in the military. So he was in the Navy, is that right, Dad?
Yeah.
The Navy, and because of his pharmacy background, he was actually in the medical corps of the Navy. So there you see my...
Doesn't that look like Kevin on the right?
Yeah, doesn't it look like... you can see some of our relatives in the picture there.
We have the before and after.
Okay. So
guy
this
on
is
the
my
right
uncle.
does look like Kevin.
Okay, this is Dad's older brother. I think he's like a couple years older, 1 year, 2 years older?
2 years, yeah.
2 years older than him. And Josiah and Andrew met their family. They actually lived with us when we're in the United States, because what happens is if you're a male and you graduate high school, you were committed to serving in the military. So before my cousin graduated high school, he came and lived with us in the United States. So we know Kevin and Catherine and Laura and Jennifer my cousins in Taiwan. So one day, they all speak English because they grew up in the United States and went to college at Purdue. But my dad and my mom took care of them for a while, and then they went back to Taiwan. So there you can see there's my grandfather and grandmother there, and this is my aunt. So this is married to my uncle. Okay, and then you see the two other girls are two of my dad's sisters. The one on the right is his older sister, and the one next to my grandmother is the younger sister. Now they actually had 4 girls, okay? But at birth, 2 of the girls were given to another family to be raised, which is a very common, or I guess it happened back in that time period where other families would take care. And I'm not sure exactly what happened, but they came back later on. I think maybe when they were 15 years old. So we have what to talk to him about. I never really asked more about it, but so he does have 2 other sisters. I think another older and another younger sister. Mm-hmm. Okay.
So why did they give them away? Why were the girls given away?
Okay. I can explain.
Let me say again. At that time, that's almost how many years? 70, 80 years ago, 70, 80 years ago. At that time, because my parents have so many children already. Now you have one more. They feel it's difficult to raise so many people. So at that time, just kind of quite normal at that time. If you happen to be a girl, then you will be adopted by other people. Not at this time, but at that time, as a
It was common.
huh?
It was common then.
Yeah.
So is it against the law now, or?
That's because this is still, in that time, early time is boy is important, girl is not that important. They raise a boy, the male can take care of the parents and can do the business and all that. The girl will get married. When they marry, they go out. They don't live with the parents anymore. So in China we say 嫁出去, is you marry out. You marry out. Then when you get a bride, coming in, you are getting in people. Get to marry in, I don't want to marry out. So it's not considered as a real to inherit or to the family, the girl, because then their name will change or something. So at that time, if you have too many girls, then they say, okay, we'll give our money to other people to check the race. So this is very common at that time. Not nowadays. Nowadays, men and women are equal. Okay? But at that time, or in China, long time ago, this is very common. If you are having a girl, then you will be given away to other people to raise. Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to say a couple words for this, you know. For that old time, the daughter, most of the Chinese, okay, Taiwanese, they are, for a long time ago, they are most of farmer. In the farmer, man was more productive. You know, they grow up, they can help in the farm, and or they make a business. But the girl, they say, oh, I spent so much money to raise you at home, and you're going to marry with another family. It becomes someone's wife or daughter-in-law. So I don't want to raise this money because they are farmers. Most of people, you know, most of family is farmer. You know, unless you are official, they are rich. Official like a governor or working in the government office. Okay, they have all very high administrative position of that old time. Most of are farmers. So the farmer, they say, I'm not going to waste my money to raise a girl and she don't make money. And when I'm getting older, they don't have ability to, you know, respect me, to give me a food, they give me or more where to do, you know. Then the daughter give away, okay, in the future very likely become married with the adoption families wife.
So,
Do you understand?
Yeah.
So because they're adopted, they marry the son, their brother, their adopted brother, right? And that way they get along with the mother-in-law.
and there's classes
Right?
there, so
Yeah.
you don't just give it to, you give away to another rich, I mean, if you were well-to-do, you give it to another well-to-do family. You don't, you know, I mean, try to keep the
And
classes
well-to-do
similar, right?
family say, oh, I adopt a girl. You know, since they are a very little, I can train them to everything and do whatever I like them to do. And in they grow up like 16, 18, 20, or they will marry with my son. You know, so both they were really economical. You know, made the picture to see their son or their daughter, especially. So as they grow up, this daughter who is still in their biological family, they don't get any inheritance. The law says the girl cannot get inheritance. They
All the
took
money
from
stays
society.
on the male side, on
Yeah.
the family name.
That's standing until I think 1950, about. That's what the
You
supplemental
all know, I mean,
program.
it's history, it's China, right? China had a one-child policy that everybody wanted a male, right? And, I mean, it's
So
just
you
part
had
of their
an
business.
imbalance in that country of
It's totally changed the
Now
world.
paying the price for
Yeah,
Okay.
totally changed the world. A lot of the woman president, woman prime minister, right, Korea.
All right, I have something off topic. But how hot are you in these photos? Like, you're really good looking. Like, seriously.
you're really good
You're very,
looking.
you're very,
You're very good looking in these photos.
Always, maybe always.
Yeah, like, I'm like, whoa.
What they work, okay? In Chinese, they say that.
He looks like that. Yeah.
They say
Dave doesn't look like either of his parents.
wait till you see my baby picture, you're not gonna,
So
I don't think it looks like his dad at all.
Were you a lieutenant? Were you a lieutenant? What rank were
he was an
you?
officer.
Second return.
Second lieutenant.
okay. They say one word, Chinese words, long time 礼貌 okay long time 礼貌 is a man has to be very intelligent and capable to make a lot of money and his success in Korea. They call it long time. So they usually they look handsome and talent. That's what. Yes.
And hot, according to
Yes. Yes.
And 礼貌 it means the girl must be pretty. If you have a they always marry with a beautiful girl. So you say the woman and girls naturally they like pretty and make up themselves presentable pretty. That's what the Chinese are. Long time 礼貌 long is a man, the talent, okay, and woman, 女 is a woman, 貌 is an experience, it's a beauty experience.
Okay, that's good enough.
Okay, so my dad was like in the top 5% of his class. He scored really well on the national exam, and I mean, National Taiwan University is like the top university in Taiwan at the time. So he was very, always at the top of his class. Then after my dad finished in service and they got married, both my mom and my dad got accepted for the graduate program to the University of Alberta in Canada. So they both went to study pharmacy in Canada in 1963. So they flew off to Canada. They were there, I think they went there in December or just January or something like that. They were only there like a few months, and then my dad got a better offer because he got a scholarship and a teaching assistant, a paid job to go to the University of California in San Francisco.
So when did they learn English? Did you know English in Taiwan, or did you have to learn it in Canada?
You learned English in school. English was in school, right? You learned some English in all the school they were raised. So they were only there for like maybe 3-5 months, and then he got a better offer, went to the University of California.
So to clarify, he immigrated from Canada to the United States.
Okay.
So University of California is the best school
Yeah.
for pharmacists in the whole world.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there was a very top professor there too that he ended up still with.
It's a great medical school.
Yeah, great medical school too. Medical school is one of the best. Now my sisters, my older sisters' grandson is going to University of California, College of Pharmacy, School of Pharmacy, this fall. So he's going to start following my steps. He's going to the same program. Same program, graduate program. So he told me one day, said, you want to come here to just see what the
What's his name? What's your grandson, your grandnephew's name?
His nephew.
Name? What is his name?
What is his name?
Name Jason or something. Could be Jason.
Jason.
Yeah. We only met once.
Okay, so
Jason, yeah.
Grandnephew.
so for 4 years then my dad. Okay, so then my mom
That's on my mom's.
decided to stop. So my dad decided, and my mom then just stopped her studies, and my dad, ended up eventually staying in California for 4 years, getting his PhD in pharmaceutical chemistry, and then me and I were born during that period of time. So there's me on the left, there's me on the right, my dad, and so during my dad, one of his theses led to his patent. One of his first patent, his PhD thesis, which was about increasing drug absorption. And then the first commercial product actually used his patent to improve the efficacy or the effectiveness of that product, which happened to be a antifungal product. So it's kind of interesting how he first started it, and now he's back doing that again. But I'm always very proud of him that he. Eventually developed, his patent from his thesis when he was only in graduate school. All right, so then after he graduated, His first job was then in Washington State University, the College of Pharmacy. You know, we went up to there for 2 years. It's like Pullman, Washington. And then he got another offer to then transfer to the University of Illinois as another assistant professor in a much better school.
I didn't know you lived in Washington.
So pretty much, Dean and I, when I was first grade, I pretty much grew up here in the Chicagoland area.
Well, I learned something new. I didn't know you guys lived in Washington. I just learned something new.
Believe it ever yet, right? She wasn't born yet.
She was born.
She's born, she's 2. 69 to 78.
Right? Okay, so then these are pictures of us a little bit growing up in some of the families. So you can see, you know, Dad and myself. And yeah, you can see in the upper, we went back to Taiwan a few times. So those are some of the pictures I only remember of my grandparents. And then on the upper right hand is my dad's older brother, my uncle, and their 4 kids, 3 girls and 1 boy. So they're the ones that ended up living with us. But they're all about our age as well. And they have kids, so you know, one day you might go back and.
Hey, Dave, in the photo on the left, top left, you're doing the photo to make yourself look skinnier?
I was already pretty scrawny, so. All right, and then my dad, and he became a professor. He was able to get his tenure only after total of 4 years. So tenure is very difficult to get when you're a professor, and the way that you get tenure is because you have to do research. And I think if I calculated right, he had like over $1.1 million of grants that he applied for and got funding for. So you know, as a professor, you're trying to do research, you have to write grants to try to get money to fund your research and your lab. So you can see he had people working for him in his labs to do some of the research. So he made full professorship very quickly, like after a total of 7 years after PhD, after getting a PhD. So again, very quick because of his track record of being able to.
4 years.
Well, this is 2 years back in also in Washington. So you know, anyways, I think I had some more stats on him. He had lots of he had like a dozen master students, 23 PhD students, a dozen postdocs. You know, so through his tenure, he had over 20 plus PhD students come through that he helped them get their PhD, and they would also help him do his research, and he worked with them and trained them. Okay. So some of this publication, just to be aware of, he actually has an equation named after him. So it's often used in some of the hospitals. It has to do with how drugs are absorbed and cleared through your system in order to figure out the next dosage, how much they should give you. But you can see he's published more than 200 papers. He's a top expert in drug absorption and pharmacokinetics. He was the father of solid dispersion. So what does that mean? This is what one of his papers was on. So some insoluble drugs, when you take them, they don't get absorbed in your body, and therefore are not very effective. If they're not being absorbed in your body, they're not helping you. So what he did was he would combine some of those insoluble drugs with other chemicals or other substances to try to make them become more soluble or become finer particles, and therefore they would be easier to be absorbed. It was kind of like a what do you call it, a carrying mechanism?
Solid dispersion.
Yeah, it was kind of like a carrier to take the drug and help it bring into the membrane so that it could be absorbed into the cells much quicker. So that was a very strong. It was a very well. And one of the things is that he wrote an article about this, and on the bottom it says in 1971 his article was cited more than 1,000 times. So other people reference his work as part of their work, and then even now it's still being downloaded and used. So he told me that some of the new AIDS drugs are using that same technique to try to make those drugs more effective by using this concept of solid dispersion. And so he's been on the FDA, National Institutes of Health, so he's invited to become with his expertise. He's served on different panels and subcommittees there, and also on the editorial boards of many journals. Okay, so that he would review what other people were writing and decide whether they would be accepted publications in that particular journal. All right, finishing up. So then the last thing is like, so now, you know, my dad and they're married. They're very active still in the community. These are just some pictures from newspaper articles in the local Chicago News of my articles that my dad has written, as well as events and that Mama Lau and Dad, they serve on a lot, they volunteer their time in a lot of different organizations, and they know a lot of the important people, and so they're in the news quite often. So these are just some of the examples of that. Okay, so I think that's, okay, so that's it. I hope that just gives you a little background on, hope you guys understand my father a little more, and I'm very proud of him.
Very good.
As I say, I challenge conventional aging concept. Hopefully 100 years of challenge. I discovered universal microbicide, which can replace essential all antibiotic to treat skin, to treat skin. Then I'm working on like a sunscreen. I'm challenging the aging concept. People say you don't go out in the sun. Damage. I said, no good, no. Sun would not damage that much unless it's very intense. Otherwise, it's good to their health. Otherwise, the sun writing that way. And so I like challenge, FDA challenge. So I'm known to be critical of other people. I tell you one story. That's about maybe 20 years ago. I was met with one professor from one in Texas, one professor from Texas, and he told me, he asked me, what you are working on? I said, I'm working on ascorbic acid. I'm working on vitamin C. I'm working on vitamin C now. And he said, he started shaking his head. He said, I may come up with something which is different from his field. Which is different, which may be critical of his work. So he's a kind of real shady one, kind of warrior, working on the same area. So I'm known for to be critical of all the conventional concepts. I'll give you one example. Just one. If you go to take the blood, you take the blood for analyzing. People say blood is blood. Blood is blood. You take blood from here, anywhere is the same. And that's wrong. That's been wrong for 100 years. So I write a review article about this, and I work on that one. Blood is not blood. Sometimes it's the same. Sometimes it could be 10 times different, 2 times different, 5 times different. So I challenge. So I challenge a lot of other people work. So I'm known for to be kind of critical of other people. So that's why sometimes people don't like me. But in that case, I essentially challenge anybody in our field. And they are much bigger than me because I'm studying as a young researcher. But I like challenge. I do something. So that's the best thing about me. Sometimes I don't have too many friends in academia because I used to challenge other people's work. They didn't like it. But that's the way it is. On the hindsight, I can be more friendly. Maybe write the article more nice. Instead of criticizing, saying wrong, say we are different, something different. So we'll be more accepted. That's how it works. Okay, thank you.
All right.
No, we have the pies. We have 4.
Okay,
In
so
the refrigerator.
so I think hopefully dessert will come. So the last thing I have is, you probably don't know much about Mama Lau and Dad's current life today. So I just some pictures of some of the things that they've been doing, just them, over the last more current.
Wait.
So I have in one Chinese journal, there's column, choose column for me to write. My column, they treat me as a columnist. I write many Chinese articles which are very. But one of the articles I wrote half a century ago, 1971, up to this moment still well cited. It's one of the side table, one of the most cited table in the journal, in our journal, is one of them. Even half a century after. And then one thing I will tell you, maybe this one you can have some help. Currently, there's no really effective antiviral drug tablet. Antiviral is antibacterial, fungus, and viral. Currently, there's no antiviral drug tablet to treat. So the one I have is one agent which can be effective for treating, to get rid of fungus, to treat like warts or any canker sore, and especially for the women, a lot of genital herpes. You heard about genital herpes? Wart. That's very common, but there's no drug to treat. So then that can result in cancer, cervical cancer, and more than probably a million people die every year for the cervical cancer. But my compound can really be used to treat both. But right now I just don't have know-how or ability to connect drug companies to develop drugs. So maybe sometime I can develop some drug to working with drug industry to treat those viral disease. Okay. So I still have a long way to go. I have a lot of things I like to write, a few papers I like to write, as long as I live.
So 20, 30 more years? Huh? 20 to 30 more years, you said?
Yeah. I hope I have 20, 30 more years to write. And looks like I'm very, I don't feel I'm aging. So I work for how many hours today? For 7 hours, almost straight this morning, doing the writing. And most of my friends, most of my schoolmates, college, high school or college, they all retired already. Essentially, most people retired. Someone disappeared already. Pass away already. So I don't know. Okay, thank you.
And this is your gift.
Thank you so much.
8 is a very special number. Everybody knows 8 is the lucky number. So
Thank you so much.
enjoy. So proud of you. And we're just so thrilled that everyone could be here. Certainly miss, Lindsay, Regina, but hopefully we'll get to soon. We do have dessert. It's coming. So I hope you guys got enough to eat.
Okay, thank you so much. One thing, I really did not spend time with Dave or Lina when they are young, when they are small, even nowadays. I know right now, you and Lina, they spend a lot of time with the children. I did not spend time too much taking good care of most of them. So that's how I kind of feel a little bit regret in my life. But
I think we turned out okay though.
I bet they differ.
Yeah. But I think that my post-retirement has been pretty good. I'm not a dermatologist, but I'm appointed as an editor for a dermatology journal. Even I know nobody in dermatology. So I was invited as a plenary keynote speaker in Dubai, in front of a global dermatology meeting in Dubai, global. I did not go at the time. I was asked to review paper for dermatology, like top journal too. So I have good recognition, even I'm not, before this is totally new field. But because of my contribution or my good idea, then people kind of recognize me. But in my writing, like aging, anti-aging, stem cell, and sunscreen, and photo aging, when they are published, eventually I will be recognized one of the outstanding scientists in the world. And I will be good social, see a lot of people, a lot of friends. I'm not good at all. So when we go out, see everybody, I just follow her. So when the outside guests go out, I follow her. She's the kind of guy, or she's kind of she's my boss, like anyway. So
Well said, well said.
the outside in the world is she's very helpful to connect with the outside world very well. And then inside, taking care of my everyday life, so I'm healthy, happy, and I have to attribute to her too. And we got a nice house. Remember, the house we have is very nice, very big, beautiful. And I also like to thank her, to thank Dave, Hutch, and Nancy. You remember when we bought the house, you came over to show us the house, the love here, and that changed our mind to buy the house. So I always remember your contribution. So we have some like a fund in the mutual fund account, and she's taking care of that, and that makes a lot of difference too. Suppose I put everything in the interest way, like a mutual treasury bond, put everything in the treasury bond, then my account would be like this much. Right now it's much higher. So she's taking care of my mutual account. That's very helpful. And certainly, a lot of my writing, she's very good at pointing out what's right, what's wrong in my writing. Even she did not really, she's a good thing about what's right, what's wrong. So even my Chinese writing or Malik writing, she often point out something which is very nice and very helpful. Now I'm ill or something, she's taking care. So we are working, we rely on each other every day now. We are one. We are two in one right now. I helping her out. She helping me out. And which is good. And she knows a lot about certain things I don't know. And I know something she doesn't know. So we help out each other, which work out very well. Right? Okay, so anyway, I'm very happy, and we married for 25 years, and I hope time goes fast, so fast. 26 years almost already. I never thought about that fast. But looks like I'm not that old, 26 years. Look at the picture. I'm still pretty young, right? Just pretty energetic. Yeah. And I hope we have another 26 years, 21 years together.
Yeah.
Okay?
Birthday. And we have all these grandchildren. And we have two sons and 2 daughters, and their spouse too. And we thank you so much for the God's giving. And we also appreciate that God gives all of you. Each of you is very unique and smart, and work hard, intelligent, and caring for other people, which the personality is bring from your parents. So I am very much thank you, my daughter, my son, Nancy, Rich, Nina, Debbie, and Karen, and another Rich, another Rich, who bring you guys grow up and have that good health and good mind and care for the people and do the best yourself in your study, and we are very pleased and very proud of you guys, and we thank you, all the people. And it's God's grace. I thank God so much. Thank you.
But also, somehow in my body, I think maybe I have some issue from God to do something. Maybe I should become a preacher in time, sometime, to spread the word of God, of the Bible, and let God created us. Almost a lot of time, I thought this for sure in my life. Maybe I have something God has me in mind to do something. Through my work, I can spread the word of God.
Okay. One
That
word.
is my area, even myself. I have this concept.
I don't believe before. I don't believe the Bible. That's what Although I baptized in 1985 when the Nancy and Rachel's father passed away because of liver cancer. And for that time, I baptized. And I go to Bible study, go to church, and then in Bible study. I'm not really believe the Bible study, the words in Bible study. There's so many stories. Looks like a miracle, and looks like it's not happening real. But I tell you, I believe every word in the Bible. He said one word. I think it's very witness. He said everybody knows the Confucius. Confucius, right? In Chinese, he is a great people, everybody respect. He's a respectful teacher forever. All the Chinese, everybody knows that. He said, you believe that existing of Kongzi, okay? You didn't see the Kongzi. But you read, everybody believe. But why you don't believe the Jesus, God, and other people? Because I don't see. Now, please, one word. We was writing our Bible in the outstanding young people, which he and I was writing it inside. The end of the word, he said, everybody believe Confucius is against it. You didn't see the Confucius, but why you didn't believe what people talk about God? I think nobody use this as an example. I think this is the result of what he is. Sometimes he looks so what? Depend on people, but on the other hand, he was very sharp mind. We think about something we don't think about. So that's the words I say, But now, 3 years ago, I asked one reverend. I say, it's Bible, all the words is true. He said, Bible is true, period. And then, after that, I really think the Bible is a great book. Not only before I only read now, see the book, and I'm not believe every word in the Bible. I some believe, but now I believe every word because now we have so many discussions in some class. I realize spirit exists. Spirit is exists. You don't see it, but you see it. Sometimes vision, our vision level, third level, fourth level, something people we didn't see, they see. They say God knows what you think, what you're doing, and what they're taking care of. And now I believe everything. That's what I try to see how it's good to understand God, and thanks God. Thank you.